Okay, we're going to look at the corrections I have made in some written work once again. If you want to buy the whole course, please click on the links under the video to my website or to Udemy, and you will be able to find the whole course, and you'll get a lifetime membership to the complete classes that I make regularly. Okay, fossil fuels such as coal, oil and natural gas are used in many countries, but in some countries the use of alternative energy sources or sources of energy include wind and solar power. The use of alternative sources of energy, including wind and solar power, has been encouraged. Is this trend a positive or a negative development? So that's the question. So Nikola Tesla, one of the most prominent scientists of the 20th century. That's a nice A positive that the student has used straight away. Looks good. Whose work helped humanity to better understand how electricity works and to find new ways to transmit, accumulate and use energy, once said. That's a lovely start, and that's a nice relative clause that you've also got in there. So you've got the name, and then you've got a positive, and then you've got relative clause. It works really well. It's nicely structured. So once said, and that's a good colon as well for an important quote. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. Okay, so that's all clear. We cannot imagine our lives without electricity. Now, that's a complete thought, guys. That's a main clause, which in academic English can't be joined to another main clause, which is what this part is. That's a complete thought as well. It hurts us all when energy prices rise. That actually is a main clause, but it's being joined with a fanboy's word to another main clause, but still it would be the last thing we would ever give up on. Okay, so you can't join main clauses together with a comma. Just use a semicolon and you'll get extra marks. It will boost, your score simply, because I don't think, I must admit I haven't checked actually, but I don't think the student has used any other semicolons. And so putting one in here shows that, well, I mean, it really does show you know how to avoid a comma splice and that you know how to use a semicolon. And so it shows two things. And so I really would put it in. It will get you extra marks. So it hurts us all when energy prices rise. That's a main clause being joined to another main clause by a fanboy's word. And so it is tradition to use a comma. But still, it would be the last thing we would give up on. You can't use your woulds and your wills like that. Yeah, I would, if you're already in the would form here, then you've got to use the would form here. Yeah, which makes it more hypothetical. I suppose you could use will both times. Yeah, let me read it one more time to check. It hurts us all when energy prices rise, but still it will be the last thing we will give up on. Yeah, you could use will for both, and that makes it sound as though it's far more likely. Yeah, just like first conditional with will is a it's a likely possibility, but second conditional with would is an unlikely possibility. And so I think would does work better here because it's unlikely that we would ever give up on electricity. Well, of course, yeah, we would ever give up on heating our homes and things like that, of course. But still it would be the last thing we would give up on. Now another semicolon, yeah, because this is another main clause, and I've put in another semicolon because this is another main clause. Now I admit that in creative writing you often see a comma between two main clauses like that, but in creative writing you're allowed to comma splice. Or I wouldn't do it too much, but you are allowed to do so for effect. And so I would avoid it in any academic essay. Just use a semicolon and then you get extra marks for using the a range of punctuation. Okay, so let's carry on. Renewables are, not renewables is, because that's a plural. If you say renewable energy, sure, renewable energy is the most promising way. But renewables, that's countable and it's plural. So renewables are the most promising way to produce cheap and clean energy. Comma's good here. Look, this is why I put this one in here, because that's the first main clause and there's the but joining the next main clause. So well done to the student for getting it there. You just missed it there, and it's the same thing. But unfortunately, now the last event, I've noticed